Welcome to the Poundcast. This one is a one-on-one Zoom recording of me and Brent Weinbach. Welcome to the show, Brent Weinbach.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. And you know what, Doug? I want to
Yeah.
welcome you as well.
Oh, thanks, man. Great to be here.
Yeah.
It's very
Listen,
hot out. We have a heat wave going on.
yeah. Wow, it was 100 degrees in the valley yesterday.
I know.
I was out there too.
I'm kind of into it because it's been so cold out here lately. It's been dipping into the lower 60s. It's a
Weird.
nightmare.
It's weird how it was starting to warm up. It was starting to get pretty hot, and then all of a sudden it dropped down. It got real cold all of a sudden. 50s.
I know this climate change it's actually getting colder in LA. Every year that goes by, it seems colder here, but
It gets hotter and colder, both.
hotter and colder.
It's like I can't tell if they're interested or not, you know. I can't tell if the weather's interested or not, you know. It's getting mixed signals from the
Mixed
weather
messages here from
Mixed
this
messages.
weather. Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, regardless, I would like to just let our listeners know that today's show
we're
is
doing
brought
the
to you in part by LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. And if you go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, you can sign up. This is kind of cool. This is a new thing that they're doing. If you go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, it'll reroute you to LVJco.com, which they both work. I don't mean to confuse people, but LVJco.com is the same website. Either one you go to, your entire order is going to be 20% off if you use the code word Poundcast, because they are our proud sponsor and we are their proud
sponsee.
But here's what else they're doing. If you sign up for their alert, you can put in your email or your phone number. They'll text you when the new small batches drop of their jerky.
Well, that's exciting.
And it's pretty cool, and they sell out really quick. So you might want to get on that. When you get on their website, it'll pop up. Just pop it in there, and you could get. I'm looking at some of these small batches: Kung Pao, General So, sweet chili garlic. I can't read what the other one is. It looks like American jerky, American jerk, Jamaican jerk. Ooh. Anyway, go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, LVJco.com, either one. Get 20% off your entire order. And this stuff is bagged in the USA, and it's an American mom and pop, dad with no kids.
It's a pop.
It's a pop.
It's a man.
Yeah.
It's a man store. It's a
man store. This is made in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. All right.
Or I should say bachelor. It's a bachelor operation here. Okay. Support your local bachelor operations here.
I mean, this Poundcast is a bachelor operation.
It's true, actually. We are true bachelors, aren't we? The
Bachelor
ultimate bachelors.
We're bachelor to the rapture.
We don't, because we're a bachelor podcast, we get sponsored by Bachelor Operations.
Yeah, we proudly sponsor. A lot of people sponsor, local stuff. I like to
Promote.
What's it called when I like to patronize
Promote.
Bachelor, and also shop at Bachelor.
Oh, patronize. I get it. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Patronize, yeah. Patronize.
Speaking of patronize, you can patronize us by going to patreon.com/poundcast. And this is really what gets the wheels moving on this show. Is like that's what helps our show stay afloat.
If you really want to support the Bachelor operations, then
support bachelors all across this country by going to patreon.com/poundcast. And when you do that, you get an extra extended episode every episode. It's called the After Dark. And this episode is going to go after dark, isn't it, Brent?
Oh, it's going to get dark and dirty, probably.
Yeah, that's about it. Patreon.com/poundcast.
Yeah. And you know what else? There's a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/thepoundcast. Clips go up there, and Well, the main episode, you also can see video of the main episode there, but what else? I mean, there's an Instagram.
Leave us a voicemail, and the number is will be in the show notes of this show. So leave a voicemail, and
I can give you the number right now, actually.
Okay. One of the Poundcast team members, Jack Birch, goes through all of them. So if it's a turd, he's gonna let us know, and we're not gonna waste our time listening to it.
He actually did.
But we might listen to a turd. We might listen to a turd today just for fun.
Jack did a very excellent job labeling all of them too recently and categorizing all of them, different folders.
So shout out to Jack Birch, L. Bircho on social media. We would also like to thank Chloe Bonilla for putting the audio portion together, and to Jackie Montana for helping out with our social media.
The Instagram.
Now, Brent, do you have that number? Did you figure out the number yet?
I sure did. I cracked the code, and the code is 213-207-6952.
52?
That's right.
All right. 213-207-6952. Call that number, leave us a message, and we might play it on the show if Jack Birch categorizes it as something worthwhile to listen to.
But he actually has another folder of ones that maybe, are, I don't know, another folder, and we might dip into those as well. Okay. So
we might dip.
So anyway, there you go. And I don't know. And anyway, check this out. We have a theme song remix on today's episode.
Ooh.
Why don't we just get right into that?
Let's get into it.
So the people who are on the Patreon, the Bachelors that are on the Patreon, they get access to the stems of the original theme song that Doug made, and they can do what they want with it and create their own remixes or covers of it. And in this case, we have someone named who goes by IHF and IHF Music on the social media accounts. Okay, that's how you can find this artist. So IHF and again IHF Music is.
And if you're in England, it's IHF.
Right, exactly. And the name of this track is Doug and Brent Poundcast Remix. Simple as that.
Okay. I'm going to roll the clip, and then we'll get into this wonderful one-on-one episode. How about that, Brent?
That sounds really great. I can't wait.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.
To the show, Brent. What do you got for me today, sir?
Okay, well, a couple things, Mr. Man. Okay, I don't know if they have this in other. I mean, I'm sure they have it in some other cities, but have you been noticing these little robot carts driving around delivering food and stuff?
I have never seen one. I've seen videos of them.
I see
online.
Okay, I see them in Hollywood a lot. I see them in certain areas of Hollywood, and I have to say, I feel really sorry for these guys.
These robots?
They seem so vulnerable. Okay, so there are these robotic automated carts that are they deliver stuff, food and other things, and they just are completely unmanned. Just rolling along on the street by themselves.
How are they not getting destroyed constantly?
That's my thought on this, is that I can't. Do we really live in such a peaceful world that nobody's messing with these robots. I mean, I feel sorry for them though, because they look pretty cute for one thing, and then they look so vulnerable. I feel like anybody can knock one over so easily, and they're just cruising along on the sidewalk. Just and I think, wow. And actually, I do believe there was one time I saw one that it got its wheel caught in sort of in the grass, kind of. I think it might have tipped over a little bit, and I thought, is anybody going to help this thing? I just thought, man, these things. I felt this poor robots. I just feel so sorry for these robots. They seem so helpless. So I don't know.
They look sad. They're like these little like Star Wars kind of like like squares, right?
Yeah, they're kind of like boxes. Yeah,
that is so weird.
It's kind of crazy because it does seem really futuristic in a way. It seems like something you would see in Back to the Future 2 or something. But I just think, man, I can't imagine these aren't getting messed with in some way. I mean,
I don't know if I want to live in that world, but
in a world where what?
Well, there's just like box robots rolling around. You
should see. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet.
Like, did you help that one that got stuck?
I know I was in my car when I was driving by, and I was in my car and I saw it stuck, and I thought, how's it going to get out of this?
I saw a video just maybe this morning. It was like one of those things, and it fell down like a manhole. There was like an open hole in the sidewalk, and it just disappears down.
I wonder what's happening to people's foods or whatever they have in those that are getting delivered. What's happening with that? I guess, you don't want to get anything too precious delivered with those things, but I wondered if anybody walking on the street saw the cart and helped it out of the situation that it was in.
Right.
Would you help a robot out?
Absolutely. They do look sad.
They're so
they
small.
might turn evil one day. So you got to be on their good side.
Right.
They'll remember that it's all stored in their cloud brain. They'll scan my face in the future and they'll be like, "Oh, you helped us when we were underdogs and we were helpless little cubes, vulnerable cubes just roaming the streets." You got to get on their good side early, Brent.
Right. Maybe I should have pulled over when I saw him in my car and just got him out of that lawn or whatever. I wonder if they must have cameras on them, right? And then I wonder if there is a real person that's monitoring where they're going and stuff or what they're doing.
That'd be funny if each one is being driven by like
a remote or something,
a driver, like somebody, like some video game expert that just can pilot it. That would be. Then it's just like, why don't you just have that person deliver the thing?
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like there's still a person. You're trying to automate stuff, but you still got a person doing it.
Well, I don't know, but I
assume that they're completely self-automated. There's no one behind it.
Okay, but is there any security with it? Is there any system where if they get messed with, mace comes out or something like that? I mean, is there any way that they can defend themselves from attackers? I just wonder.
That'd be cool if just like a big sword came out and it just kind of shot in different directions or spikes or something.
I mean, they look all innocent and stuff, but yeah, if you mess with them, did they release spikes?
What if poison gas comes out?
All right.
If anyone's messing with it, gas comes out and the person just kind of passes out, then they can escape.
It's so weird, man. It's really weird and futuristic seeing these carts going around here in Hollywood. I've only seen them really in kind of, I would say, nicer parts of Hollywood. But but no area is really that nice. I mean, there's always going to be some crazy person walking around.
Yeah, people are free to roam. People are free to go wherever, any neighborhood they want.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess I can't imagine using something like that. I guess, I've ordered Postmates and stuff. So I have had, food delivered.
From a human.
But if they're doing like their full grocery lists and stuff, even that, like my friend does imperfect foods. A couple of my friends do that where they pick what they want online on Friday, and then Monday they get their groceries. And I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know. I like to have things to do that gets me out. For some reason I like going to the grocery store and just going down the aisles and just, you know what I mean?
Even as a bachelor.
As a bachelor, yeah.
Maybe it's a way to meet a bachelorette.
Especially as a bachelor. You just like, and we both live alone, so it's like I like to get out in the world, and that's like one thing to do.
Yeah.
There's something kind of fun about picking out which apple you want and stuff,
But sometimes you might have a busy day and you kind of think, I don't really have time to go to the store right now. I kind of wouldn't mind getting stuff delivered.
What if they had robot toilets that rolled up? Because sometimes you're in public.
Robot toilets?
Yeah. What if it was like this? What if it covered your bottom half, but your top half was just sticking out? Imagine like a box rolling up, a lid comes out with a hole in it that just your torso fits through. It's not a fully enclosed thing.
That's interesting. It's like taking the Seattle's Pike's Place thing to the max. Showing
the robot does it all. It takes the pants down. It does it all.
It unbuckles.
It bidets you, and it wipes you and dries you off.
That's the future.
Then you get out of that.
What if there were robot bachelorettes?
Shitbot.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's probably these guys doing their robots, like Elon Musk and stuff. In the back of their mind, that's their end goal, is to have the bachelor, like a fully robotic bachelorette. You know what I'm saying?
Just full Stepford wives kind of thing.
Yeah, they could like program it to be exactly what they want. And wasn't there a movie about that? It was called like
Stepford Wives. I just said Stepford Wives.
No, there was a movie about a robotic like wife.
I mean, the Stepford Wives, I think, is like that, isn't it? Or
Ex Machina. That's the movie I'm thinking.
Oh, Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, Ex Machina, yeah.
It's like all those robot nerds. That's what they're thinking. They're like, okay, I'm going to make this little thing now. I'm going to make a little square, but my ultimate
goal is for this square to have breasts.
Yeah, and to be a bachelorette.
So
okay, let's talk about the next subject.
Okay, next subject here. Do you want me to go again, or do you have something?
Oh yeah, go again. I don't have too much.
Know. Well, I just had a thing. This is something that is maybe a little bit of a problem that maybe you can help solve. I was driving on the freeway, and well, I don't know. Do you ever get hit by other people's spray? So
what do you mean spray?
Well, they'll spray their car on the freeway, and then
you mean the windshield spray?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the windshield spray.
Wait, didn't one of our guests recently say that they aim their sprayer?
Yeah,
to like mess with people.
But I was on the freeway the other day, and somebody was spraying their windshield, but on the freeway. So what that did was, because we were on the freeway, it made the spray actually go on my car, and it was kind of messing my car up a little bit because I had just got a car wash, so I didn't want to spray.
Right.
What do I do about that? How do I deal with the spray?
That's just one of the hazards. That's just.
Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe I just have to show them how it's done, and I got to just speed up, get in front of them, and then start spraying my car to show them what's happening. I guess, right?
Right.
Just fight spray with spray, I guess.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
All right, no, not a big deal, I guess. Hey, look, there's worse problems in the world,
There's worse problems out there. I think I'm sure I've mentioned this before, like when I first started the Poundcast, but the Chris Rock thing, I know it's like it's old news at this point.
Uh-huh.
But Chris Rock is kind of the reason I started. Chris Rock being a jerk is kind of the reason I started this whole podcast. Like, in a way.
Hey, but you know what? You countered that. You countered him by doing something nonviolent, starting your own podcast.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's kind of the way to do it. I'm basically. Are you trying to say that Will Smith, what he should have done is started a podcast?
Exactly.
Yeah, where he could just play sound bites and stuff.
Right.
Or he gets DJ Jazzy Jeff, and he just has DJ Jazzy Jeff playing sound bites and stuff.
Dude, there you go. Well, yeah, just for those who don't know, I was a co-host on this other podcast called The Champs with Moshe Kasher and Neil Brennan. And we got Chris Rock, as a guest. It's a big get, So we go, and I'd been doing this podcast for a while, maybe over a year, I'm sure. And in those days, we didn't monetize the podcast. There was no Patreon. There was no nothing. So it was kind of a labor of love. I was like, it was far away from me. I had to drive really far to the Beverly Hills hotel where he was staying. I set up my gear, and I was recording it too. I was kind of like the engineer, and I was also doing my drops, my sound effects during the.
And a lot, this is what Neil Brennan, who kind of put it to, wanted, his vision was he wanted you doing a lot of the sound bites.
Anyway, we start the show, and they mentioned Eddie Murphy, and I did the Eddie Murphy laugh. It's like that. And Chris Rock's like, "What are you doing, man?" He's like, all mad at me. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just doing drops. This is what I do on the show." I don't think Neil really explained my role.
Yeah.
So then he made me feel like, just made me feel belittled, I guess. It was just, I just sat there silently, and I didn't even say a word. I drove out there and kind of just sat there I just felt like dissed,
Yeah. And
I couldn't do my thing. So then after that, I was like, why am I doing this podcast? I got kind of like, all angry about it. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I get no respect.
Also, Jada was kind of, egging you on about it too, right?
Who was?
Jada.
Yeah, that's true.
Jada was kind of looking at you like, you're going to stand for that?
Yeah, so I quit that show and I started this. So that's what Will Smith should have done. I didn't go over there and slap him. I just sat there silently, and I'm thinking the whole time, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Were you kind of just did you feel really embarrassed and stuff too? Or just
I don't know what the feeling was. I was just sitting there kind of steaming, just like, I just get no respect. I come out here, I do all this shit, and then I get like shut down immediately, and I was like, I'm out. So then when I saw Will Smith give that slap, I'm like, maybe there's more to the story that we don't know. Like, maybe it's not that one joke. Maybe he felt disrespected by The Rock.
Right. Still wasn't a good way to resolve it, but
no, I don't.
But no,
it was all around. It was just, I don't really care. It's like, it was an interesting moment, but
hey,
all the like long articles about it and everything. It's like, you know what? The guy got angry and he slapped the dude, but I don't know.
Well, did you
something to talk about?
No, it's definitely. Look, everyone's probably sick of talking about this.
As soon as it happened, I was like, "Oh, great, we're going to be talking about this for a while."
Well, it is a big. It is a big deal just because Will Smith is such a role model for people. He's such
true. That's true. Him of all people, you wouldn't expect him to be losing his cool like that.
What nobody's actually talked about yet is he put out a new series on I don't know, Disney Plus or something, or some streaming channel called Best Shape of My Life. Did you see a trailer for that, or do you know anything about that?
No, what is it?
Just released a sort of documentary series about himself called Best Shape of My Life, and it's about him not I think it starts off of him trying to get into better physical shape, but it becomes more about him getting into better emotional and mental shape. And it's just funny timing that came out, and it's about him bettering himself and, just becoming a better person. And then, oh, this is the result of your better, the best shape of your life is that you go and, slap somebody.
They didn't pull the show, did they?
I don't know. No, I doubt it.
That would be lame if they were like, "Well, your show's canceled now." That I don't support that. It's like,
I don't think he should be canceled. But but
it's not
anyway,
a cancellation. No.
Well, I kind of just don't even think anyone should be canceled, actually, for the most part. But the because I just kind of feel like people should be given opportunities to learn from their mistakes, but
yeah, of course, we all know that.
But anyway, no, but it feels like when someone's just hardcore canceled, they don't have any, I mean, it depends on the situation, but they just, they're not really given any reason to learn from their mistakes. But anyway, going back to Smith, going back to you, actually, I want to hear that got edited out of the episode, I guess, right?
What?
The Chris Rock thing with you.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that kind of like annoyed me. I was like, that's good radio. The exchange between us, it was like this awkward thing where he's kind of like, "What are you doing, man?" And then like that got cut out. I was like, you could at least leave that in. I was ready to I wanted it to kind of be in there. Because then otherwise it's like, why is Doug not saying anything or
not doing anything?
It just makes it seem like, yeah, people were listening to it were probably like, why is he not doing anything? But
it's funny. I looked it up recently because of this Chris Rock slap thing. I thought to myself, I want to hear this thing that happened with Doug. And I tried to listen to the Champs episode with Chris Rock, and I was listening to it and I didn't hear anything. And I thought, oh, maybe they edited it out. Yeah, and I really wanted to hear it.
I wanted to hear it.
Then I listened to, I was listening to the final episode of the Champs, which you came back for. And I guess you mentioned it a little bit in that, but where can I hear this? Do you have it?
The Uncut?
Yeah.
I don't think I have it. That's so long ago. I wouldn't know where to look. I think I just gave the files to Neil every time. But
I think it sounds like a Patreon exclusive, man. We get that.
That would be awesome.
We just can release that
that exists somewhere. That would be cool. It'd be funny though. What if Will got canceled hardcore, and the only job he can get was being the slap chop salesman? Remember slap chop?
What? What's that?
It's like that guy Vince. Hey, it's Vince with slap chop.
Oh, I don't know that.
Slap chop. It was like an infomercial, kind of like this little thing that chops up vegetables.
Oh no, that's so. What, Will Smith just promotes that now, or he's the spokesperson?
Like, I'm the king of slaps, and now I'm doing slap chop.
Well, I think didn't at one point Mike Tyson kind of embrace that thought, embrace what he did about biting Evander Holyfield's ear.
The bite?
Didn't he kind of embrace that at one point?
Maybe, but that'd be funny if he started. But if he got a job doing I don't know,
right? Something a teeth related thing. A teeth.
Yeah, he's working for a dentist or something.
Right.
I got to keep my teeth nice and sharp for my bites. Oh no, it's like for some food or something. He's like, when I'm not biting ears, I like to bite Burger King, Whoppers or something, or something like that.
It's funny you say that because
it shows him biting Evander Holyfield. It's like, man, if I only had one of these, I wouldn't have been so hungry out in that ring or something like that.
That is a really funny ad. That's a really funny ad. But it's funny you say that too, because I think Evander Holyfield was a spokesperson for Burger King at one point. Wasn't he talking about popping a buddy in his mouth? Remember those buddies? They were smaller burgers.
Oh, those little sliders.
And
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I just want to pop a buddy in my mouth." And he goes like that. He just pops the whole burger in his mouth. I think that was Evander Holyfield. I think. Listen to this, Doug.
Yeah.
In 2005, I
Yeah.
submitted to be a writer on the Andy Milonakis show. Okay,
Yeah.
for season 2 of the Andy Milonakis show, which I really like that show, by the way. I thought that was a great show. We could probably get Andy Milonakis on the show, by the way.
Yeah, we should.
But anyway, I really liked the show. Submitted to be, and at the time, my manager was a producer for the show. Well, he represented Andy Milonakis also, and you were with this same manager too at one point. And
Which one?
well, it was I was with Dave Rath, but
Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
and then but then they
Okay, so
became
what happened?
Generate. Anyways, I submitted this packet and 2 sketches. You're supposed to submit different kind of sketches, but every episode has a celebrity guest, so you were meant to submit some ideas for celebrity guests they could get or whatever. And so I did 2 celebrity ones, and one of them was Mike Tyson. And the premise of it was that Andy Milonakis, he's watching a late night horror movie, a black and white kind of. He's watching a vampire movie,
Yeah.
and then he goes into the TV and he goes in and he opens a coffin and it's Mike Tyson's in there and he's a vampire, and it's kind of, so the bite happened in 95 or something like that, right? And then this is 2005, so 10 years later, right? And I thought it'd be funny to reference a 10-year-old happening or event, right?
Yeah.
Controversy. So anyway, Mike Tyson is a vampire. That's the idea. And then at one point he bites, I guess he bites Andy Milonakis, and then he wakes up and he turns out it was just a dream. But then he looks in the mirror and Andy Milonakis has the tattoo on his face also, as if he got infected. I don't know. It's a sign that he got infected. But anyway, whatever. The point is, Mike Tyson is a vampire. That's the main joke, right? About a month or so after I had submitted that packet, my friend who kind of helped me write the packet, he said, "Hey, put it on Kimmel right now, or tune into Kimmel." I tune into Jimmy Kimmel Live, and there is sitting. By the way, I didn't get the job. By the way, obviously, but there is sitting Mike Tyson as a guest on Kimmel, and he's dressed as a vampire. Okay. And now, Jonathan Kimmel, who's Jimmy Kimmel's brother, was the executive producer of the Andy Milonakis show. So he saw all the packets, and so I don't know. I think they kind of took the idea, because no one's ever made this vampire joke. And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, they're doing that joke when I had just made it in the packet. And also Jimmy Kimmel's brother is the executive
10 years
producer.
later?
Yeah. It just seems
Well,
like
I guess I could see somebody making that joke, but yeah, there's an interesting coincidence.
I even told my manager, I said, "Hey," I think they took my idea because this happened and whatever. And then his response was not, "Oh no, they would never do that." His response was, "Oh, did they lift that?" I mean, as if that happens all the time, kind of a thing. Now I will say this: it did happen to be a Halloween episode of Jimmy Kimmel, but I don't know, it's just weird timing. I mean, I think they just thought, "Oh, this is a good idea, and Halloween's coming up. We should have him on." Anyway, it's yet another in the many stealings of things that happens, and I guess that sort of thing just happens, They could have at least hired me for the job. I would have loved to have written for the Andy Milonakis show. I thought that show was so good.
Yeah, that show is funny.
But
Okay, well,
there you go.
That's thoughts here. A couple more thoughts here. Then we can get into the voicemails. But Did you hear about this guy that they found in Griffith Park? He was a hiker. He was with his dog, but they found him dead. Like, I'm not sure what happened, but this guy was gone missing. You know, it's kind of scary. The guy was gone missing for 2 weeks. No one could find him. And then they finally found him, you know, in some tucked away trail. And Griffith Park is a giant mountainous hiking zone in LA, one of the biggest parks in the country or something. Anyway, the guy was, his dog was still next to him. The guy was dead. So the dog sat by his side for 2 weeks. And the dog was like all emaciated, but still alive. And everyone's like, wow, what a great dog. My thought was like, that dog's dumb as hell. What, he doesn't know the guy's dead? He's just going to sit there and starve to death? I don't know. I just thought people are like, it just goes to show how loyal dogs are. I'm thinking that kind of goes to show how dumb dogs are.
Yeah, you should.
Like, the dude's dead. What are you going to do? Like, also, if your master or whatever dies or needs help, go get help. And then that's a smart dog. That's a dog.
Right.
But just to sit there for 2 weeks and like be like sitting out in the elements, doing nothing, that's a dumb dog.
That's codependent.
I also thought of a good invention.
By the way, there's a statue in Ireland or Scotland or something of a dog who did that. Also, they stayed with their master for a long time or something like that, and they made a statue of the dog.
Yeah, you hear about these dogs that are like there at the funeral, they're following the casket. It's like, move on.
Yeah, it's start living your own life.
Yeah, live your own life.
I mean, No, what were we gonna say?
Oh, this is just another whole idea that I had the other day. Like, I've been trying to go to bed. They say to get good sleep and everything, and the benefits of sleep, you want to go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time, even if it's not an 8-hour span. It's healthier to just go to sleep at the same time and get up at the same. Have that be consistent. And sometimes time gets away from me. I want to go to bed around 11:30. Sometimes I'm up, it's like, oh shoot, it's 1 or something. That'd be cool. Instead of like an alarm clock, like a sleep thing where like, if your whole house just shuts down, like all the lights, all the computers, everything, imagine like a timer at say you want to get to sleep at 11. Cause like the power went out for a little bit one night a few weeks ago, and I was already kind of up a little late. I was like, oh, this is a great excuse to just go to sleep now because everything's off. I can't. I was working on something on the computer. I was like, that's a cool idea. If everything just shuts down, maybe your phone turns off, everything just goes black, and you're like, I got nothing else to do unless I want to sit at candlelight, read a book. I must go to sleep. Wouldn't that be a good invention?
For those who could handle it, yeah, but yes. But
everyone can handle it if that's your choice.
Right. If that's your choice. Yeah, it is a good. It's kind of like when people, they lock their phones in these boxes.
I have one of those boxes. You can see it right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's called like a kitchen safe. People put like cookies in it and stuff.
Right.
I've used it to like put stuff in, like my phone. I put it in there.
It's funny that people put cookies in there to think that people can't help themselves, that if the cookies are available, it's almost like a drug or something, or addicted to it or something.
Right.
Do you think people ever put heroin or anything like that in there? Yeah. Just to sort of make sure they don't overdo it?
I'm sure it must have been done at some point.
I wonder if anybody's ever thought, I'm gonna smoke crack, but I want to limit how much crack I smoke and do it a reasonable amount. I'll keep it in the safe.
Let's go to one of the voicemails, Brent.
Okay, sounds good. Here, let me go ahead and play one. And like I said earlier,
Is this from the Sincere collection?
yeah, this is from the
what-
Sincere collection. Yeah,
Let me see. What are these? These are. Let's see. We got funny questions, sincere questions, bad ones. So we'll go to sincere. Let's start with sincere.
Okay, so this is, once again, another big thanks to Jack for doing this. He labeled all of these, kind of giving little, kind of almost mini descriptions in the titles.
Yeah.
So
now, what are they labeled as?
This one's called Angelo's Got a Problem. So
right.
Let me get this ready to go here. Okay. About to share this here. Okay.
All right.
And away we go.
Audio is following, right?
Yeah. What's that?
The audio is okay.
Yeah. Here we go.
Let's let it rip.
Hey, Doug and Brent. This is Angelo. You can use my name. I don't care. Here's my complaint, or an annoyance. I had a really good problem to bring up this morning. All I remember is the vaguest sketch of what the problem was. It was something like, the problem went along the lines of it's like when something isn't really something, or something tries to be something but isn't. And I can't remember what it is. So now I have to switch my complaint to not remembering important things like that, not remembering really good ideas. I know I had a good idea, and I was riding my bike to work this morning, and I was like, oh, this is a good one. I got to remember this. Completely blanked by the time I got to work. Couldn't write it down. I didn't even remember to recall anything until halfway through the day. I'm like, wait, I had a really good problem. So that's my problem, is forgetting really good problems to bring into the show. Bye.
Well, I would say I get a lot of good ideas when I'm riding my bike or on a hike. I think I've pulled my bike over before, pulled out my phone and wrote it down in the notepad. So, Angelo, you got to pull over. But yeah, that happens to me a lot, where I have a great idea and I'm driving or something. I can't write down the idea. I'm doing, I'm like in a situation, I can't write it down. And it luckily a lot of times
it comes up again.
I'll think about it. It'll pop back in. It'll be like, oh, that's what that was. But so yeah, I do hate when that happens. What did he say it was? Let's try to imagine.
Let's try to imagine it. It's when something is trying to be something and it's not, or something.
Uh-huh.
Should we listen to that part again just to see if we can gauge what he was maybe saying? Because I want to.
That's funny. It's like an annoyance, but it's not the real annoyance.
But I also like that it's kind of a game for us to figure out what his problem was originally.
Yeah. Hey, Doug and Brent. Here's morning. All I remember is the vaguest sketch of what the problem was. It was something like, the problem went along the lines of it's like when something isn't really something, or something tries to be something but isn't. And I can't remember.
So when something tries to be something but it isn't. So let's think about what that could be. Maybe when things are trying to be something and they're not. Maybe that's what he's. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. It's. I almost know what he means. By the way, I almost know what he means. He's saying when things are trying to be something, but they're missing an element of authenticity or something like that.
Gotta be some kind of false advertising or something. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it wasn't even false advertising. I think it's just, the difference between a poser and somebody who's legitimately a thing, or when something. I know that there's movies and things like that, or videos I've seen where they try to be something and then they get something wrong and they're actually not. Okay, well, I don't know if this applies, but here's an example. Maybe this is okay. This is a big gripe I have this is video game related, okay? But Do you know what a fan translation is?
No.
So there's a lot of video games that didn't come out in North America, didn't come out in English speaking places, that came out in Japan. And so there's these fans that will translate it themselves, and they do that so people could play these games that were in Japanese only. But the big problem is that they take a lot of liberties with the translations. So they'll take liberties and they'll use certain words that I just know if this was officially translated, and it was back then, it wouldn't. And these are games, by the way, that came out in the 80s and 90s, right? I just know that's not how they would have actually translated it. So, and the other big problem with them, and this is going to relate to Angelo's thing in a second, is that a lot of times these fan translators, they're probably younger, and or they can be, where they don't even know how people talked in the time when this game came out. And so when they translate it, they're using sometimes expressions that didn't even exist at the time that the game came out. And so it's the wrong, people didn't express themselves that way, yet it's in this game. You know what I'm trying to say here? So
yeah, I know what you're saying.
My point is that the translations are really wrong. They're trying to, sometimes people say, oh, this is a really accurate translation, but I think, they wouldn't have used that expression or word at that time when this game came out. So it's actually not a good translation. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of something along the lines of what he's saying, is that, and by the way, the same could go for literature too, or anything, is that translating is when you translate, you also have to get inside the mind of somebody from that time period that the thing came out, so that you're not expressing yourself in a way that's more modern,
Well, this isn't a funny solution, but when he's talking about not remembering something like that, if you have a great idea, you're on your bike, you can't write down your idea, whatever situation you're in. Sometimes I'm like, this is such a good idea, I kind of like rerun it in my mind. I can't keep, or if it's like someone's name, someone important I meet that I don't want to like forget their name or something, I'll kind of like, in my mind, I'll be like, his name's Brent. Okay, there's Brent. His name is Brent. That's his name. B-R-N-T, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that, run it through, and then it digs in a groove, and then that groove. Hold on, I gotta do one thing real quick.
Okay.
And we're back. We had to take a quick break, but I don't know. Did we?
What did we talk about? Oh,
we were talking about Angelo's problem.
No, you know what? Oh, you know what I do, by the way, is sometimes you ever fall asleep, or you're in bed and you're falling asleep, and then you think of a really good idea.
The best idea of all time.
And then you just can't be bothered at that point.
That's when you can't forget. That's when I really forget, for sure.
But you know what I have found is that if I think of an idea or something I need to do, and I think of it right before I go to sleep, I tell myself, okay, remember this when you wake up. Remember this when you wake up. And, oftentimes I'll wake up and I'll remember it. I'll think, oh, I reminded myself to do this. For some reason, that trick works, where I will remind myself when I wake up.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so I think you just need to tell yourself, hey, when you wake up, do this thing. You remember this thing when you wake up. And I oftentimes do remember it. So maybe that works,
Angelo, you just got to use a couple techniques. You got to go like this. Angelo, don't forget this, okay? Why do you do this to yourself, Angelo? You ever hear people talk to themselves and they call themselves their own name? Like my friend had access to these like OJ Simpson outtakes. I don't know. It was like, he had like a workout tape or something. And like, I don't know how he got these outtakes, but he kept going, Jesus, juice.
That's really
he's like
funny.
Doing his lines. He's like, welcome to my workout tape. Today we're gonna Jesus juice.
There's a couple funny things about that. One, it's funny that he calls himself Juice.
I know. He's calling himself his own nickname.
But it's also beyond that.
That like shows what a psycho he is.
It's not just he's okay, yeah, OJ, but then he's taking it the next step, which he's calling himself orange juice. You know, it's just weird that he's calling himself Juice, which is a nickname for a nickname in a way. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Right,
OJ
right. Yeah, yeah.
It's OJ. That's okay. That's
Well, he
whatever.
didn't start calling himself Juice. I think people had been calling him, the Juice or whatever.
Okay,
But
right. Irregardless, I know that's not a word. Just that's weird that he's calling himself Juice. Okay. Second of all, it's also funny the idea of Jesus juice. I mean,
well, that's what Michael Jackson called wine when he was giving it to the kids, right? Jesus juice.
Is that what he called it?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's just a funny expression, Jesus juice. I mean, look, I did think of wine, but I think I more so thought of Jesus's semen, though. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's where my mind
Like,
went to kind of more first, I guess. I mean, I thought of the wine as well, but semen, Jesus's semen, maybe I thought of that too. Jesus didn't have any kids, right?
on the stand, Arvizo said Jackson would say, "You know how Jesus drank wine? Well, we call it Jesus juice."
Oh, he did say it. Wow. Okay.
I
Do you
mean,
know
on some court record, it says that somewhere or something.
Did Jesus have kids?
No, he's a bachelor, bro.
Right, man. We're like Jesus, man. We're like Jesus because we're bachelors.
What if Jesus was gay? And back 2,000 years ago, being gay was even more shunned upon than it was, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So he had to be like, well, here's the thing. I'm the son of God. Okay. Like, like he is his like way of,
I mean, he had to talk like a 30s.
he had to like throw off the, the scent of,
the way he sounded like a 30s gangster kind of. He said,
yeah, here's the thing.
Here's the thing. See, I'm the son of God. See, and
wait, you come up to me like a Roman cop.
Uh-huh.
You're like, hey, are you gay? We're gonna have to murder you.
Hey, are you gay? I'm gonna have to butt search you. Turn around.
No, here's the thing. I'm not gay at all. My dad's God, and I came down here to live out my life and take upon all the sins of mankind. That's the ticket.
Okay, I got.
That's just what he thought up at. That's what he thought up at the last second. He's like, and they're like, well, you better start acting like that now. He's like, okay, and then he had to like live out this fake life of like being. And then he kind of made up the whole doing to others because he got backed into a corner.
Here, you're the cop. You're the Roman. You're the whatever the cop. Roman cop is a Roman cop, Greek cop. Come up to me and
Roman, the Roman era.
Roman cop. Come up to me and say, "Hey, we got reports that you're gay."
Hey, we have we hear that you the gay. Trying to be like Italian.
Oh, me? Gay? Oh no, you must have. Wait, gay? Wait, you sure you heard that?
Are you gay? Because we have these swords here. We have to murder the gay ones in our society.
I think you heard that wrong. I think you heard. You sure you didn't hear God? Because
that's what you said.
Yeah, no. When people are saying, "Oh," you might have heard people saying, "Oh, you God." It was they were saying, "You God," not you gay. Because you see, me, I'm God. I am God, basically. Because my dad is God. You see, there's a thing, and so I think you heard God.
We're gonna let you. We'll let you. Okay, we'll let you off on a warning, but just make sure they pronounce this stuff right. Okay, I don't want to be murdering the wrong.
Hey, got it.
I don't want to be persecuting anyone falsely.
I only want to persecute the ones who deserve it.
I mean, if you think about it, that whole religion could all be people hiding their sexual behavior. Like, okay, his mom, right? She's like, hey, who knocked you up? You got pregnant out of wedlock? We're going to have to stone you to death. She's like, well, here's the thing. I'm still a virgin. God did it. God did this. Okay.
That's so funny. It's just about repressed.
Like all of it, the whole thing, it's
all about sexuality. Yeah. It's all about,
it's all from repressed sexuality and not abiding by these
No, it's
societal norms.
It's impossible that I'm pregnant. I've never been with anyone before.
I've never been with a man.
It must have been God.
I'm pure as the driven snow. It must have been. She's doing the cross even before he was like born. It must have been God. They're like, what are you doing? She's like, you'll find out in about 30 years.
In about 30 some odd years.
33 years or so, you'll find out. You'll know what this is.
Wait, that's a funny idea, though. That's such a funny idea to say, me, I'm a virgin.
No, I mean, this premise has been done, I'm sure, by like
right. By tons of
countless stand-ups.
Right, yeah.
From Bill Hicks to whatever.
Right.
But
no, this is a new, fresh take, is that.
But then Jesus too, why was he a bachelor? They're like, you're a bachelor, you're like 30. Shouldn't you be married by the time you're like 19, sir?
Also, he had.
Oh, no, I'm not. Turns out I'm the son of God.
Well, wait a second. Here's the question. Did he, do you think he, did sex?
The nasty?
Yeah, do you think he did the nasty?
Oh, you know how he always hangs out with the downtrodden and prostitutes and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're like, hey, why are you hanging out with these prostitutes? We're going to have to persecute you. He's like, nah, here's the thing. I'm not doing the nasty with these prostitutes. These prostitutes here, the one that I just came out of her bedroom with. No, I was talking to her about God because I'm the son of him. They're like, okay, sir, on your way. All these disciples, they had them all fooled. You know, they're like Mark and John and Luke. They're like, he's not with the prostitute, right? He's not like banging her, right? No.
Check this.
Write that down. He's the son of God.
He's not gay. He's God.
It's like, we have to each write this down. Mark, Luke, John, take a pen and write this down. Write down that we all know the same thing.
He's about to.
They're like, because we're gay too.
And maybe Judas
and
is the only
person acceptable in this day and age.
Judas was the only one. He was the only one trying to come out of the closet, and then he kind of was trying to bust everyone. Maybe they made a secret pact that they were all gay, and then, Judas decided he's gonna tell the world that we're all gay, and then they're
like, what's up with all these what's up with that group of bachelors hanging out? There's like 12 of them, and then they got this leader. They gay? No, don't murder them. They're not gay. They God.
They God. No, but how about this?
God.
Check this out. This is an interesting thought. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe this might be offensive to people who are religious, but it's just a thought. Okay, I'm not saying anything. But you know how cults oftentimes, well, first of all, religions are cults, and that have just been around for such a long time that people don't think they're cults anymore.
Right, yeah.
So, okay, they're all cults, okay? But a lot of times cults have a lot of sex stuff going on in them,
Uh-huh.
Usually the leaders of cults are usually doing sex a lot with the people,
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me wonder, did L. Ron Hubbard ever do sex? I mean, besides his main people, meaning his wife, besides his wife, did he ever do sex with some of the members?
I don't know. Have you ever seen a picture of him? I would shudder to imagine that.
Okay, but then, but obviously those other cults, had a lot of sex stuff going on, those, David Koresh and stuff, right? And what's the guy, what's that one guy? Anyway, there's
Brian Jonestown or Jonestown or
no, the other guy. What was the other guy? I forgot. But anyway, I'm just wondering, so obviously, I'm just thinking Jesus was running a cult back then, right?
Yeah.
And then, was he doing sex with people, boys and girls?
It's something to think about. It's something we can't know. And look, I grew up Catholic. I don't want to offend anyone. I think maybe a lot of people get a lot of benefit from their faith in the Christian religion, but It's just something to think about. We're bachelors. We're not doing anything wrong. But maybe back in the day, it was not cool to be a bachelor.
If I ever started a cult, by the way, I'm just going to tell people right now, I would not get sex involved in it. Okay. It would be clean. My cult would be clean. I'm just saying right now.
Yeah. I'm not the personality type to do a cult. But if I had to, I would probably be doing the sex, Brent. I got to be honest with you. You might as well.
Oh, you would do sex in a cult?
Well, not. I would never force anyone, but
right. But you take advantage of it, though?
If they came knocking on my yurt at night, begging for it, might have to. Might have to. Boys and girls. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding about all of it. I'm kidding about all of it. Okay.
Boys and girls.
I don't do cults. I don't like cults. They're
boys and girls.
I don't like deceptive I don't like deceptive sociopaths, those type of people that do cults, the type of people that fall for cults. I just listened to a podcast, really interesting, about something called twin flames.
Oh, you said twin flame about us on the last episode, I think.
Did I?
Yeah.
Am I your twin flame?
Yeah.
It's very interesting what they can get people to do. You get deep into these things and people control every aspect of your life. Anyway,
it's interesting stuff.
Do one more call and wrap it up. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe not a sincere one. Maybe something from the
from the funny ones.
Something from the funny.
The sincere ones
collection.
The funny questions collection.
Or bits.
Okay, this is called bubblegum question. Is that
all right? I hope we're going to end on a hot note here. Let's see.
Try to pop this bubble, if there's one to be popped.
The bubblegum question.
The bubblegum question of the day is.
Let's take a listen.
Bubblegum question of the day is.
Hey, Pound Crew. Just want to know if you guys ever blown a bubblegum bubble with your butt, your butthole. Thanks. Looking forward to your response.
Wait, hold on. Let me understand this here.
Just want to know,
I know what he's saying.
If you guys ever blown a bubblegum bubble with your butt, your butthole. Thanks. Looking forward to your response.
It's funny that he said looking.
I would put that under sincere. That should be from the sincere collection.
Right, that's the sincere collection. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny, Brent? I was on the Howie Mandel podcast.
Oh, you were?
I think last week. And I was riffing with Howie, and we came up with that exact. I forgot what else we came up with that exact bit. He said something about chewing gum with his butt.
And then you talked about blowing bubbles?
Maybe even blowing a bubble with the butt. Yeah.
Well, maybe this guy heard that.
It's not even out yet.
Uh-huh.
By the way, this is an interesting tidbit about Howie. I told him, when I was growing up, Howie Mandel, he was like the funniest comedian on TV to me. I loved it. Like that was one of my earliest childhood experiences of stand-up. And he used to put the rubber glove on his head.
Right.
And then he would blow it up with his nose. Well, he was like, I said that to him and he was like, you know how I'm OCD? You know how he's like OCD?
Yeah.
Or whatever? That's what he calls it. He was like, even back then in the 80s, he was. And he would have those rubber gloves in his pocket when he was like opening doors and stuff. And that's how it started. He had the glove on him and he put it on his head. Isn't that wild?
Well, it's interesting. I hope that he was putting a clean glove on and not one that he touched a doorknob with
right. I don't know.
Or a toilet handle. I want to talk to him and I want to go on his podcast because I think we could relate to some stuff,
Yeah, you should go on there.
Talk about germs and things.
I don't want to talk out of school here, but it seemed like that might have been one of the last episodes or something.
Really?
That's the vibe it was
Was it with you and the whole crew, or was it just you?
It was me and the office hours crew.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do too much talking. It was, he was talking to Tim a lot, but it was fun. Look that up. It was kind of funny because it wasn't live. It's taped to be released later, and we were supposed to get there at 12. But then me and Vic, the address we got was like, it didn't take us to the right spot, so we got there a little late. And it was like they started exactly at 12, and they were like filming, and like, it's like lit in a studio, and we're like, just walking in as it was going. Kind of a funny. They're like, on time, and it's clockwork.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's that OCD thing going on right there.
It could be part of it. Yeah, he's really cool though.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was doing a show. This is, I think, before the pandemic. I was doing a show in Santa Monica at the West Side Comedy Theater, and then he was in the area and asked if he could do a set. It was just kind of interesting.
He asked you if he could do a set?
Not me. He asked the show if he could do a set. And he just popped in and he did a set. And I thought that was interesting and cool because it was a small show. I mean, it was a sold out crowd, I think, but it was, it's a pretty small venue. And I don't know, he has tons of money and tons of things that he's involved with. America's Got Talent and all that stuff. And yet he still's down to do stand up and do sets. That's neat. That seems cool.
Well, he did express that, he's on network TV. So there's a lot of, on network TV, you have to be kind of a network style humor and content. And he can't really be, I don't know, fully creative,
right,
in the ways he wants. That's why he did the podcast, and that's why he likes hanging out with comedians. That's probably why he liked doing that show. How long ago was that?
I think it was pretty close to before the pandemic. So it was 2019 or maybe even early 2020. Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap it up, let's talk about this bubblegum question, because this could be a cool invention. If you could somehow, say you fart a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of gas, a lot of flatulence, and it reeks. And it's affecting your professional life. I mean, there was a time in my 20s when I was an editor, and I would be in this little edit room, and I just had a terrible diet. Living in Chicago, I was like probably just pounding so much cheese and beef and like bad crap. And I had bad gas, stinky gas. And I just remember being like so embarrassed. Like I'd be on the chair trying to like make sure the fart goes down into the cushion, and hopefully the cushion will kind of trap it. And I was thinking there needs to be some kind of invention that I can put some kind of fart diaper. Yeah, a fart diaper is a good invention. It's not a thick diaper because it doesn't need to absorb any, solids or liquids. It's just gas. It needs to trap the gas. Imagine like shorts that are completely airtight with like a super tight kind of gasket going around each leg and around the waist.
Yeah.
So then you kind of fill that up. Maybe it gives you a little front butt when it's full. And you just simply go to, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. You don't go pee. You discharge, you off gas your fart diaper. There's a little valve.
I think it'd be it might hurt to.
But going back to his thing, or a bubble, like maybe a gum you can swallow, and then it'll bubble up your farts.
And then you poo the bubbles out.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that would be weird.
And then so the bubbles are just these stink bubbles. They come out and they're pretty solid, or
they probably won't flush. They'll probably be floating up. You probably have to. It'll come with a little tong, a fart bubble tong that you you tongue them out and you simply put them in the wastebasket, in the bin, mate.
Have you ever tried to blow anything with your butt?
I think I tried to light a fart once. They do light.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that new Jackass?
Not yet. I want to, but yeah.
There's some fart stuff in there you might like.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're gonna love the fart stuff in there. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Fart bubble question. Thank you to the callers. Leave us a voicemail 213-207-6952. Come check me out this September. Opening for Tenacious D. Go to tenaciousd.com. See if I'm coming to your town. I'll be doing about 8 cities. And Brent, I got breaking news. I think I'm going to Europe for a couple of weeks at the end of May. Not to do shows, just to go have fun.
Are you going as a bachelor or as something else?
We're going, a bunch of bachelors are going.
Is that
Bachelor
right?
style. I just kind of invited myself. My friend Matt was going with a group of friends to Barcelona and then Portugal and stuff. And I was like, can I go? And he's like, yeah, you probably can. And I'm thinking, why not? That'd be fun.
Okay.
Kind of like been itching to do something exciting, getting out of the country. I bought the ticket. It's happening.
Uh-huh.
I'm going, Brent. You might need a couple of guest hosts for that.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you to Jack Birch, Chloe Bonilla, and Jackie Montana. Thank you to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com for sponsoring this episode. Go to patreon.com/poundcast right now, and you can keep listening because we're going to keep talking. We're going to go through a couple more voicemails here. We have Red Hot Pun. We have Turd Mold Part 1, Turd Mold Part 2. Those are some of the voicemails we have. We have musician help. Musician needs help. We'll see what's up with that.
We have something called Egg Question.
Egg Question. Yeah, maybe we'll check out Egg Question when we come back. Anything else you'd like to mention, Brent?
No. I hope by the time May comes around, I hope to have more news about my personal life in a way, just as far as my living situation. But we'll see.
Interesting. I'm excited to hear more.
I made an offer on a house yesterday.
Oh, baby.
It could be good.
Oh man, I'm excited.
I mean, it's kind of far, but it's got this back house and whatever. I'll tell you about it. I mean,
is it one of the ones? Is it one of the ones you showed me?
I don't know if I showed this one to you, but this one, if I rented this out at the price I think I can rent it out for, oh, man, my mortgage is going to be easy.
All right, we're all.
I think
we're all praying for you. And let's go after dark. So thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Poundcast. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.